Hello, so this is Caesar's de Bello Gallico, Book 4, Chapter 34. In before this passage, Caesar has described how, as his men were exploring the woods, they were surrounded by the Britons and their chariots, and he described a little bit about how intense the chariots were. In this passage, Caesar will describe how, after some heroic actions and on his part, the Romans will escape from this battle. So now into the translation. Nostris is the subject. So our men, having been disturbed by these things, and then the noetate pugni is in a positive to quibus rebus, and that's why it's in parentheses, because he's describing what quibus rebus, like what they are, um, by the strangeness of this mode of battle, um, and Caesar brought help at a most opportune time. And the quibus rebus is talking about the Britons' chariots and how that's antiquated and strange to the Romans. Tempore opportunissimo is an ablative of time. So now Caesar's going to go on and talk about what happened when he arrived at the scene. For at the arrival of him, or at his arrival, the enemies stopped, and our men recovered themselves out of fear. And, in these lines, there's an asyndeton because there's no conjunction connecting these two phrases, and the ad when to is of Caesar is the key to this passage because it represents a complete change in the course of the battle. The quo facto is kind of an idiomatic way of saying, and even though this was accomplished already, um, he, Caesar, thought it was an unfavorable time to attack the enemy and start a battle. In this passage, the arbitratus is starting up an indirect statement with alienum tempus as the subject and esse as the verb in the infinitive. And there are two examples of the ad plus gerundive to indicate purpose. So he, Caesar, kept himself in his own place or quarter, and with a short time having been intervened, he led the legions into the camp. So while these things were happening, with all of our guys having been occupied, those who were left or remaining in the fields left, and that's talking about the Britons with whom they were just fighting. Storms followed for several days continuously or uninterrupted, which both kept our guys in camp and prohibited or prevented the enemy from attacking. So meanwhile, the barbarians sent messengers in all directions or into all parts, and those messengers, proclaimed to their people about the few number of our soldiers, or the low number of our soldiers. and um, they explained how great an opportunity was given to make plunder and free themselves forever in perpetuum if they were to kick the Romans out of the camp. And one thing that I forgot to mention is going back to the last slide, the que there and the et should be translated as both and. So by means of these things, which is referring to Caesar's speech, it's written in the plural, but you can translate it in the present. They quickly, with a great crowd, of infantry, foot soldiers, and cavalry, having been assembled, they advanced towards camp, the Romans. And that is all for Caesar 4.34.